This is Dan,
Bob,
Eric
from GigaBoots.com, and welcome to GigaBoots Podcast number 79. Eric said I can't name this one Mike Pence.
It's true, I did.
Mike Pence.
Before we start, I need to do something. I'm actually duty bound to do this. I know this is a video game podcast, but Dr. Agro is not here today.
So you're going to act as his surrogate?
He has sent me a message.
Oh, okay.
I demand that, in spite of my absence tonight, you take a moment during the podcast to make guttural moans expressing your feels vis-a-vis recent Steven Universe episodes.
Oh, okay. So are we doing that now, right off the bat?
Yeah, I'll do it now.
I feel like that motherfucker did that just because he had a giant thing where he would not wear headphones for this. A giant thing. That was the hill he was going to die on before we started recording.
Something about I can listen to my voice after the fact, but as I'm saying it, double time multiplied in on itself, freaks me out.
I'm really glad I hooked up over $1,000 of audio equipment so he could gross me out.
Right?
You're welcome. Well, now that that's done,
I'm gonna put that back on.
It's been real good.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
How's it going?
All right.
We've been watching Steven Universe as well.
It's true.
Though
not today's episode, but whatever.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Give it time. It'll show up.
I mean, it's what amazes me is not going into anything about the show, but the way that it's been released has been every once in a while they'll do a Steven bomb, which will be like a week of every weekday is a new episode, and it'll be like, yeah, we get a chunk, but then months pass and nothing. This is what people are calling the Steven Nuke. We're going into like August and September. There's going to be a new episode every weekday. Going into crossing seasons.
For how long?
Until like September.
So they're gonna release like 20 new episodes?
Seemingly.
That's insane.
Yes.
Right, that's pretty crazy.
So hooray. And they're all good. So
I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna have to buy another season. Oh.
Maybe.
I like it showing up.
Yeah, no, that seems
it's
really
convenient as hell. Just getting an email that's like, hey, you have streamable and downloadable Steven Universe. Just click here. Thank you.
Good.
Meanwhile, fan base feels incredibly alienated, and they're like, I don't get it. And some guy's watching with that guy, and he's like, wait, I think he's paying money for things he watches.
What? Inconceivable.
Honestly, that is a huge generational disconnect I experience frequently of like people just
rampant stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
That sort of thing did kind of start with our generation. Even it's just some of us decided to not do that anymore.
Well, some of us, when we had money, decided I should probably pay things with my money instead of taking them. Taking them with my own willpower.
I know in some places, or in some regions, like say anime, like back in those days, there was no way to get stuff that was anywhere near like release until stuff like Crunchyroll and all these other nice services started taking off. And it's great that gave people a way to actually pay for what they want.
Weren't there multiple fan subgroups that were like, well, this is actually being released now, so go
like one
watch
of the,
it.
Yeah.
The biggest Naruto fan subgroups were like, okay, well, that works. Bye.
Was it like dot to
Fight free? Leaps out window, tumbles.
Yeah, basically.
That speaks to
at the end of Evo with that guy who punches the wall open. It's like, you're all free now.
That speaks to one of the things for proponents of piracy is that one of the main reasons why people pirate is lack of ease of access. Like nothing's as easy as pirating. You just go and get it and it's done. And once digital platforms are able to offer that with a cost associated with it, then that's a much better option.
Right. But then, like, I know people who and this isn't like, I know there are people out there, like, no, I personally know people who have been like, yeah, that's why I pirate. And then when it is available, they're like, well, it has DRM. So
well, sir, there are still people who will, no matter what, find an excuse to take it for themselves.
It's great. And now that we've had a discussion about morality that has alienated most of our viewers, Bob, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing.
Is it the morality card?
I checked out
some chicks.
This Vita game.
They had nice butts. You've been playing Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax
on the Vita.
On the Vita.
Yes.
How are their butts?
Or are they at beaches? How are their butts? Very small. Oh, I thought it was like very small.
Very small butts.
Very tiny Japanese butts. Real quick, I gotta ask before we talk anymore.
Okay.
Because I saw this level in some of the videos before that game came out. Is that Sonic level?
That Sonic level's in there.
Do you still have that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's great.
Yeah,
that's so dumb. For some reason, it's like, oh yeah, they made a Mario stage into
Soul Calibur.
Smash Bros thing, right? Whatever. Here's this fighting game, and there's Sonic loop-de-loops going in the background, and it's not Smash. That to me has a disconnect, and I love it.
It is kind of crazy. This has that Sonic or that Sega involvement. Like, I started up the campaign mode, and the avatar for Dreamcast, that like Dreamcast girl that they made for Seiha Girls, is the main like story character. Like, she's guiding you through this universe.
That's
I
great.
have no idea what the heck, why it's all connected to Sega like it is, but I'm not complaining.
Are there characters from Phantasy Star Online in it?
No.
Okay, I don't care.
They're only characters from I guess it's called Dengeki Bunko. Is it the name of like the
publication?
The publisher? And
Yeah.
it's a light novel sort of publication.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some neat stuff in there. It's really easy to play.
Is Miku in it?
Miku is not in it, unfortunately. Maybe in the new version, because this one released in the States. And the reason I haven't bought it is that when it released, they already had a new version.
And didn't one of the Guilty Gears do that? Like within a month of Xrd, they were like, Revelator's coming, or Blaze Blue.
It was probably Blaze Blue, because there have been so many of those now that I feel like they almost certainly did that twice already.
I feel like it's about time for me to buy another Blaze Blue, because the last one I bought was the first version of Continuum Shift.
It's sounding like this next one's going to be the end of the story.
Good.
And that's
perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, but I'm also worried because it sounds like might not be getting a dub. And that would be really bad after this long of having that dub.
Yeah. Because Xrd Revelator doesn't have a dub.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Yeah, that's like the main reason you don't play that game.
Yeah.
Because you need to hear Elfelt's craziness in English.
Yes. Elfelt's amazing. Waifu of the year 2015/16.
Going for it every year from now on, I bet.
Yeah, because she didn't stop talking. It just rolled over. Months later, she's still telling you about how your honeymoon's gonna go. She's so great.
Each year, each iteration, less and less clothes, though.
Yeah.
More chains,
More
more
straps
collars,
and chains
straps.
She's getting desperate, okay?
Yeah.
She'll do anything. Okay, so I'm watching BoJack Horseman season 3.
Okay.
There's a flashback episode to 2007. And of course, BoJack handles those things perfectly. They're all so stupid. But there's this one part where he's in bed with someone, and she's like, "You need to do this, and if you do it for me, I'll do that weird thing we saw in that weird French thing we saw in an internet video." And he's like, "Wait a second, parkour?"
Okay.
So good. Damn, that show is so good. Nick, how's Dengeki treating you? It's good?
It's pretty good. I haven't been able to play much of it.
No.
I've only tried a few characters and
What separates it from other fighting games?
not much.
There's
Not
a
much?
Sonic level?
There's a Sonic level.
Right. Okay.
It's more simplistic fighting game, a lot like the Melty Blood or the what was that other game?
Persona Arena.
Persona Arena, where you where you can kind of mash the square
Where
button and
there's
it'll
the
make an
easy,
auto combo.
cheesy, beautiful square button.
Yes.
Under Night in Birth.
Yes, Under Night in Birth.
Wait.
It is in Birth.
EXE late.
Is it Under Night, or is it like Undead Night?
It's Under Night.
Under Night.
But Under might be an abbreviation for undead. I don't know.
Under Night Tail.
I also been playing Pokemon X.
Pokemon X? What? How has that been going, Bob?
I never finished the after the main story, like after the Force stuff.
Yeah.
So now
You beat the game, and an anime dude was all gay, and then you're like, well, I'm done with this forever. But forever ended, because here you are playing Pokemon X.
Right.
What are you doing in it?
I'm doing the side quest, which is called the Looker quest. Their side quest.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Because it's entirely set in that city, the it's the centerpiece of the whole island. It's basically Paris.
Yeah, the Paris analog.
That city is the reason I hate that game. I remembered.
Really? I hate that city too. Yeah, it's a giant circle with concentric circles within it. It's fully 3D and the camera's free roaming. Ooh. And since your perspective's constantly moving, it's like good luck getting bearings. But then on top of all that, there are a billion fucking tiny shops set up.
And they look almost identical.
Terrible, and they look identical. So
half the time trying to read the sign, you'll walk into the building and have to load anyway. Because the camera's so bad.
Yeah, I had to, and it also loads a lot every time you go down the road, and then that changes your perspective because the camera changes.
Oh. They know it's bad because they put taxi cabs on the street corner of every street so you can just go wherever you need to, but you pay them money to do that.
Right. I remember in our first playthrough when I got to that town, I got there first, and then you guys arrived, and then I still gave it more time, and I'm like, okay, I give up. Where the fuck do I go?
Yeah, no, that and the whole side quest I've been doing has been go to these specific shops in this place. And I'm like, oh my god, really?
It's almost like they're saying Mega Evolve 300 times. You're just like, cool, this sequence is great. Burning
I love
sounds. That's cool.
I haven't even been able to do a Pokemon battle since I started playing it again. Ooh. It's all been in that stupid city walking around.
That's bad.
It is.
That's absurdly bad. Damn, son.
Right?
I didn't realize it was that bad. Fuck. I don't even know what.
The last thing they told me to do was find these punk kids. Basically, like, go look for an alley that has some punk skaters in it. I'm like, there's like 30 alleys. I don't know.
You gotta do it.
So that sounds incredible.
Pokemon X is so great. It's probably the best in the series.
That sounds right.
No, you know what's the best in the series?
Oh, what's that, Dan?
It's this one. It's Black and White 2.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's blowing out. There we go. Yeah. Got that. Because like when I do that, the white is so bright that it's kind of getting rid of. Yeah, it's really good.
No. This is all these pieces left over.
All these pieces
you should continue the adventure with the Pokedex.
With Volume 2, which has the Pokedex and stuff, which I'm going to refer to Bulbapedia for that anyway, so.
Right.
Who cares? But yeah, no, Black and White 2 is the best. It's great. It's a great game.
You keep telling me that.
X and Y has features that were cut, that were in this. That bugs me immensely. Yeah. And then Omega Ruby brought some of them back, if not all, and then it's 3rd gen, so that's bad. And they even, it wasn't bad enough that it was 3rd gen story, they had to derail it to add back in Mega Evolution.
Beautiful.
So, you've been playing anything else?
I actually got to try out Jury because she got added to Street Fighter V.
Wow. Okay. So that's from Capcom, right?
Yes, it's the only game they've ever released.
Seems like it.
Cool.
What are you talking about? They ported all those Resident Evils.
Oh, they did.
Is 4 out yet?
No, not yet. I think that's this month.
They're saving it.
Yeah, because they know that's the good one.
That's the one. Admittedly, 5 looks good.
Didn't they used to make a game, Super Guy? Like,
no. I have no idea what you're talking
Mega
about.
Dude.
No, that's Konami.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Mega Dude's Konami. Akumajo, Dracula, Mega Dude.
Mega Dude.
Dengeki.
But yeah,
how's Jury?
Jury's pretty neat. Got all sorts of crazy flips and stuff.
Would you say that it's your duty to play as Jury? Like some sort of jury duty?
I wouldn't say that. Only some horrible person would say that.
Only some sort of horrible man-beast would do such a thing.
Good thing we don't hang around in the midst of such slovenly creatures.
Oh my god.
He's right behind you.
The shit is coming from inside the podcast.
I'm also trying to work through the story mode again on the extra difficulty.
Oh.
Because that'll actually give you more fight money.
Is there like an appreciable difference, or is it like...
Oh yeah, it's way harder.
Yeah?
It's actually challenging.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
Which, yeah, I don't know if... It makes it very obvious why you get to a character I can't play as. When it makes me play as Dulce, it's like, okay, Can we?
Where's my pay fight money to skip this fight?
Yeah.
Burn him to the ground.
I'm sorry, Street Fighter 5. I'm really sorry. Just take it.
What else?
It's not me. It's not you. It's Dulce.
And then I've been playing Odin Sphere.
Yeah.
I finally got past the point I got in the old PS2 one back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Actually getting to see the plot.
Odin Sphere is pretty cool. I like watching it even.
I really like it's really neat the way they did the 5 stories, because it's like 5 different characters and they all have story arcs that are going, and the timelines actually sync up properly. Like it has a timeline you can look at and be like, okay, this is when things actually happen.
Yes.
It's not like, say, Devil May Cry 2, or I feel like any game that lets you do two different playthroughs with 2 different characters.
You're talking about the Witch Sisters mode in Portrait of Rain made perfect sense.
Yes.
What if right before Jonathan stormed into the castle, both of Eric's daughters stormed the castle and got stuck in a spell, and then 30 minutes passed and Bronner was like, "They're my daughters!"
I don't know. That sounds dumb. That sounds exceedingly
It sounds
dumb.
implausible, I feel.
And yet that's the timeline.
No way. They could put that in a video game.
Bronner's just lying the whole game. I've lived with my daughters for centuries. Eric's just in the corner.
I died last week. I brought them here.
Motherfucker. I am beloved by my daughters. Cuts to them. I don't know what he's talking about. You know what he's talking about? God damn it. But yeah, Odin Sphere.
Yeah, Odin Sphere.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah.
You're on the bunny now.
No, I am.
Oh,
I just finished the Black Knights campaign, and
Okay.
I'm to a Velvet, who is like the sorceress with the chains. And
Yeah.
she's pretty cool.
Whoa, wait, you finished the Black Knight from the time I left last night?
Yeah, that was the last mission I was starting when you left.
Oh.
Yeah. And it looks like there's, like, I looked at the timeline, it looks like there's, you get to go back to everyone to kind of finish out their stories after.
yeah, there's like a huge chunk of timeline after everyone's finished, I guess. Once you've beat all their, I guess, sections, there's like a separate chapter that unlocks that goes through the separate extra timeline.
Then you get to escort Emma Emmerich.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the President's Daughter. Both.
Yes.
They
Well, in
managed
this
to avoid
timeline-
drowning.
Emma Emmerich is the president's daughter. Yeah. It's the best Metal Gear. Because she
Resident Evil
dies.
4.
Bob,
What's up?
have you been playing anything else?
I don't think so. I feel like those are amazing. Oh, right. I've been playing my computer dying.
Oh.
That was great.
How's that game? Is it really difficult?
That game is really expensive.
To put this in context, Bob built that PC right as we started GigaBoots. He built it after I built mine by like a month. And he hasn't changed anything major. Like he changed the
I
solid
swapped out the
state
video
drive.
card.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that happened sometime in the interim when Battlefield 3 came out.
That was like a year later, maybe. Yeah, because 2011's Battlefield 3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that checks out. Because then 2013 was Battlefield 4.
Right.
Yeah. So during this whole thing, which Bob ordered parts, he figured he would get a new case because he would like a new case.
That case I was using was before I made this PC.
Yeah.
It's probably 10 years old now or something.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I ordered an
or
iBuy
2005, actually.
Jesus.
Yeah, because that's SPF computer.
Yeah.
To give an image, I came over one day and like, hey, Bob, how's it going? And you're just on the floor, the computer's guts everywhere, just a look of utter defeat on your face, like, oh my god.
Be better, you piece of shit.
Because there's nothing quite as uniquely frustrating as trying to figure out what part of the machine of the computer is broken.
Yeah, and we found out it was like either the CPU or the motherboard, and since it's so old,
Yeah, I was like, neither of those can be replaced individually.
they can at a cost that's fucking unreasonable.
Right.
So he just ordered a new CPU and motherboard. So Bob will be able to, for the first time in GigaBoots history, actually fucking record videos to his computer on our external capture card.
Oh my god!
Because that's why we got an external. We got it because we could be like, oh, hey Bob, I'll give that to you, and then you can record.
And it turns out that
he bought fake USB 3.0.
My motherboard was lies. It boots up and says USB 3.0 every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't actually do that.
It's rubbing it in your face. Here's your USB 3.0.
Did you check to see if they were in quotations? Like,
the guy's like shrugging.
I bought it from Gigabyte, so I should have just assumed.
Yeah, we do Asus now. They treat me very well. They also make good monitors.
Looking at your bio screen, it was just like that. That's how a bio screen can look?
It's a future dimension. It was like the mouse works and it has readouts of temperatures and fan speeds and numbers, and you can click on things to go to them instead of hitting F keys, and
it's not garbage.
It's not garbage. What was it? I found out my motherboard has a feature where if I stuck a decent fan on it, I could go into that bio screen and be like, I have a liquid cooled computer. And it's like, okay, and then if I leave my computer alone for 10 minutes, it will overclock itself.
Okay.
And it does it pretty conservatively, too. So, yeah, that would be cool, and I might do that someday, but not exactly on the table right now. You know what else we discovered today? We discovered that Agro is going to use his absurd PC budget to buy an NVIDIA Titan.
Because someone had to.
Because someone had to. I guess we will now have known anyone who paid over $1,000 for a video card.
So crazy.
His video card is one of your computer, Eric.
That's insane.
It's one of my computer!
You could just buy a nice laptop. Whatever.
Nope. That's not the point. The point is to grind Steven, my brother, with his 1070 into fucking dust.
He couldn't just get the 1080.
No.
That wouldn't be enough.
The supply is still constrained and he doesn't want to overpay, so let's just go straight for the 1200 card. It was great because I told him this. I was explaining like, okay, this performance level, this price, and this price, and people are forecasting the Titan at this, and here are the price levels, and I already know your answer, but I'm just letting you know right now.
This is really dope.
You can get a Titan, and I'm just gonna let you make that choice. And then he's like, yeah, I'm getting a Titan. You know my design goal. And I'm like, I know. And what was it? He was like, you know my childlike design goal.
Did he ask you if you could craft a gigantic nose onto the front of his case?
No, he didn't ask again.
Okay.
Full of naivete and wonder.
Yeah, so he's gonna end up with a 6-core Titan-powered 32 gigabytes of RAM computer at some point that I will build for him.
Is it going to have water cooling? I mean, doesn't need to be overclocked. I don't think that's what matters. What matters is Kyle would be able to say it has water cooling.
I think you're right. That's an additional $190 for a good Corsair H100. And he's landing it tightly under 3,000 with the 6-core and the Titan and all the RAM and the Godspeed solid state drive. That's like 2.6 gigabytes per second or whatever. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. So what else have you been playing, Bob?
Be fucking ridiculous. We make an indie movie. We're rendering it on his machine. Like, that's just happening.
Right.
But in any case, what else have you been playing, Bob?
Those are the things that really come to mind.
Okay.
I played a little bit of that Sword of Mana? Legend of Mana?
Yes, Sword of Mana.
Hero Mana?
Did you hit one of the points where you have no idea what to do?
No, not yet.
That's good.
Not yet. That game feels real clunky. Like, it's clearly not a high-budget game, so I'm glad they only charged $15 for it.
Right.
But yeah, it's neat.
I think its art's really good.
Yeah, it has some nice art to it. The very, like, everything in these set panels feels very strange.
Yeah.
And when monsters disappear and reappear when I go up a ladder.
Yes. It is this weird fusion of lower budget mobile game and old Game Boy game.
Right.
With that sort of stuff. So that's pretty weird. But I like it. I like what it's going for, and I appreciate it because, you know, it's okay that it's not Final Fantasy 15.
Right.
It's okay that it's not like a really well-polished, super good thing. It's just supposed to be light and fun, which is about all the original was anyways, on the Game Boy anyways. Sword of Mana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or sorry, Final Fantasy Adventure? Legends.
The Adventure.
The Adventure?
Final Fantasy The Adventure.
Yes, because Legends is the one that gets 3 sequels on the Game Boy.
And that
is
was
in fact
Romancing Saga? Is that? No.
Well,
Saga. I think.
Saga Frontier, that series, yeah. The Saga series.
Man.
The Saga.
They went crazy with how many things they called Final Fantasy over here.
They got one RPG to sell, and they stuck to it.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But it really explains why Final Fantasy Legends 3 is way cooler than any main entry in Final Fantasy.
Does that have Talon, the spaceship that travels through time?
Yes, it has Talon, the magical spaceship that travels through time. It also has an urn that is drowning the world.
Oh.
That stuff is pretty cool, but the other Saga games I played were kind of completely awful.
Well, you played a PS2 one, right?
Yes.
So fuck you. It ended at the PS1. Yeah, Saga Frontier 1's fucking awesome. You get to play as some anime superhero or all these other characters, and their stories are tonally way different.
Huh.
And you get the choice of all 6 right off the bat.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, Saga Frontier is good.
Why did they
I'm going to go
throw
over
it in
here
at
and
like
check
a
how much that costs.
incinerator for the last few?
I don't know. It has been heart-wrenching to be an old-school fan of games. Forever. Has that ever gone well for anyone?
I mean, Retroware has been doing pretty well off that business model.
Okay, so it goes well for businesses. That's good, because they have feelings, right?
They have votes and rights.
Oh god, they do have votes.
They are people under the law. So they clearly
stop
have
talking
feelings.
before I kill you and then myself.
No, like people with retro games, they always have their games.
Yeah.
And they never have to be disappointed by new things that come out.
But new things come out masquerading as their good games.
And
are terrible.
That they pan, and then they go back to their old games like nothing ever happened. So
$25.
I honestly expected it to be more.
That's pretty high actually for a PS1 game.
It is. I'm not saying it's not.
Hopefully Steve still has his copy. I don't know. He lost his copy of Earthbound, so he didn't care either.
Did he lose that copy of Valkyria Profile?
He has a PS1 game folder last I checked, so he should have Saga Frontier and that in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
You've been playing anything else?
I don't think so.
We played the Bloodstained demo.
We did, but we talked about that like every podcast.
We did a quick play of it.
Whoa. I think they noticed.
You can go watch it. I'm sure there anyone who's watching this that didn't watch that. It only got 200 views.
do you want me to gutturally moan into the mic again? Stop it.
I'll punch you in the mouth. I'll change your ringtone to the sound of me farting. And after the fart ends, I go, I did this on your face while you slept.
I'll just be sure to pick up real quick.
I don't need to know. Like that's your number one concern. If you didn't hear me say it wasn't real, then you just delete the ringtone.
Yes.
Ignore the pictures on Instagram. Those are
Of you
clearly
crouching
photoshopped.
over my sleeping face, thumbs up.
Yeah, clearly photoshopped.
It's a gif of you doing that. My facial hair is bristling in the breeze.
Oh.
That's why we need 4K.
Oh.
That's why. This is why.
This is important. Bob, what have you... Anything else?
I don't think so. What have you been playing, Dan?
Eric, what have you been playing?
I have played a few things. The first thing I played needs to be prefaced with a small story. I had been looking for some free-to-play stuff for a while because I've been running low on some money due to things. And was like, okay, free-to-play MMOs. I used to do those all the time.
Like Spyro Knight.
Yeah, Spiral Knights is great. I mean, I played it for a while, but it was not what I wanted, I guess.
It had
was
an
still
energy
cool.
system,
yeah,
which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. So I was like, but I don't have enough room. I looked at my memory and I was like, I only have like 20-something gigs left, and it needs 30. So I'm like, well, I can't. That's weird. I thought I had more. Whatever. And I guess I tried some other things, and it's like, but I want to be able to play this. And I looked at my memory. It's like, there's only 30. There's not even 30 gigs left. What is this D drive? And why does it have a terabyte of memory? Oh no.
As the guy that handpicked Eric's computer. If you could just imagine him telling me.
The amount you could probably hear the hand go to my forehead. That clapping sound could be heard from space.
Yeah. Yeah.
The International Space Station's like there's something, a fantastical instrument that emits a death sound.
I used my Rasengan.
Yes.
And right upside your head.
Right there.
Yeah.
So I installed WildStar.
WildStar?
WildStar. It was an MMO that was really promising that came out a few years ago, but it had a subscription model. But in recent years went totally free to play.
Ah.
So I was like, okay, I kind of always wanted to try that. And I tried it out. It is surprisingly good. It's got this really nice cartoony style. Mm-hmm. Everything fits and flows together really well. It's got some interesting ideas for movement, and there's a lot like a housing system that's really crazy well implemented. Mm-hmm. Small things like if you run on roads, your move speed is increased. Like it's such no other game. You laugh, but no other game does that.
Yeah, I can't think of any MMOs that do that.
And it has like little like side modules to play. Like we went to like a moon of the planet and fought like waves of zombies and stuff, trying to find out what happened to this wrecked crew. And it was just cutting through them Diablo style, like there's like seemingly hundreds
of skeletons.
Not like little zombie dudes.
Okay,
like alien zombies, basically.
Am I right in thinking this is the one made by some of the former WoW staff?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. A lot of it is it's not reticle combat. It is still using the hotkeys, but a lot of the combat centers around.
That's a good sound.
Zones of effect, like you'll project like, okay, I'm casting a spell, it's going in this direction, or it's going to be bombing this area, and you have to move, and a lot of it is movement based and stuff like that.
It seems like a lot of MMOs tried to do that sort of system recently.
What was it? Guild Wars 2, that, and one or two other things all came around.
Yeah, like about Conan and Terra.
Yeah, Conan and Terra were also then. Man, yeah, that was...
Yeah, they were really trying to push anything to get the MMO fighting system more active.
We had a lot of people. Your PS4 controller has disconnected.
Great.
Well,
good to know. We had a lot of friends who got into that.
Oh yeah,
and it was like hot going in the game.
It was pretty hot,
and then it was like really like within 2 months. Like I had at least 5 friends I knew playing it.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I heard of. Like there just wasn't enough content there. Maybe now it's full years later. So.
You would hope.
I have heard that the end game content is lacking in various ways, but I'm in the beginning, so whatever. It does throw at least in the area that I'm in, it throws a butt ton of quests at you.
Yeah.
So you never don't have something to do. But the thing I really like about this game, because it kind of caters to me, is you can choose one of the 4 like professions or hobbies, I guess, where I think it's like settler, soldier, explorer, and scientist.
Videographer.
Yes, and videographer. And they each all have different objectives in a map to do stuff. Like a scientist will have to go discover relics or scan species, and soldiers will have to do like horde mode style wave stuff.
Are these objectives just in the zone, or are they on the, like, you're on a quest and they have to take this role on the quest?
No, that's just they're in the zone. You can they're like quests, you can do them anytime. Like for an explorer, I'll get into a new area, it said, oh, go to that vantage point up there, and I will be able to interact with an object that'll open a path to climb up this rocky path.
Okay, so as you're going through as one class, do you grab a banana that's colored like your class, and then some other class has to come in and grab the red bananas that you can't grab, and then another one, the blue ones?
No.
Okay. So Rare didn't make this game.
No, they didn't. Surprisingly.
Okay, that's important. I had a fucking 18-year-old coworker defend Donkey Kong 64.
Did you put him in his place and slap him about the mouth?
He's like, what are you talking about? That game was great. And I'm like, no, that game is a fucking atrocity. He's like, but it was fun when I was a kid. And I'm like, I was a kid. Don't you fucking pull that on me. Also, that is no defense ever. I grew up playing E.T. and Superman on the Atari. And to this day, I go, I have no fucking idea. Don't ask me to explain these. I also had Mega Man on DOS. I had a dark childhood.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Still need to go back. I'm only just reached level 10, so I got like the crafting professions, which is its own bag of thing.
Have you tried to get anyone on the Twitter that you're friends with playing it?
One person.
We do have some people who are MMO geeks.
That's true. I mean, one person.
Okay, got it.
I guess I could put a shout out and say, hey, who wants to play?
Who wants to play WildStar? Crickets.
Yeah, if you want to play WildStar with me, go ahead and message me on Twitter.
Are there servers?
There's one server. I saw.
That sounds right.
Yes.
The game is doing great.
Yeah, because the person I was playing with is like, oh, what server should we go on? The only server.
We should go to the only server.
Yes. So no problems there.
Okay.
But yeah, I also, on a whim, again looking for stuff to play, went back and played Metroid Zero Mission again.
Oh, okay. The best.
Fun fact, turns out it's good.
It's the best.
It's real good.
It is really, really good.
I like it a lot.
I can't remember one bad part of that game.
It is a little easy and kind of short.
It is a little easy and kind of short.
But it's a good time.
But, like, Kirby's also really easy.
Yeah.
So in a world where Kirby can be an objectively good game, then Metroid Zero Mission can be too.
Yeah, it is a good game.
I do wish there was an in-between in difficulty between Bunny Must Die and Zero Mission for good Metroidvanias. Like, we could just...
I mean, those are the Castlevanias.
No, those are GigaBoots.
Oh, okay.
They have shrugged off this terrible cape people have put on this horrible label.
Then they're just Metroids.
Metroid-like.
Bunny Must Die is a bit more than that.
Yeah, there's
a little bit more.
It has sub-weapons, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's like... It's like...
How about this? Bunny Must Die is like a Metroidvania and not a Metroid because it has interesting mechanics. The time manipulation stuff. Metroid really doesn't really do that. You have powers that...
Yeah, it's more about the environment.
And traversal with the built-in abilities or ones you gain. Like, the best ability that's never coming back, except for in Metroid Prime, I think it came back, the Spider Ball.
Spider Ball, yep.
Yeah. I was like, this is the dopest shit! And then I play every other Metroid, and they're like, nah, man.
Remember when
that breaks our game, apparently.
As it turns out.
Remember in the Metroid universe where the ancient Chozo race in their wisdom put in sick ramps that they could do tricks on?
Yeah.
Sick
Prime really
Prime
went
was
into
really,
that.
really dumb. Okay, I remember that.
Prime was amazingly dumb.
With its spin dash.
The boost ball is great.
You heard him. Sonic the Hedgehog is great.
Fuck you.
With the needle mouse gun.
And the last thing I played, I'm still playing through. What? Go ahead.
Zero Mission.
Yeah.
How did you play that? Do you own that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I played it on the GBA.
Oh, okay. You just
I have my old SP.
Okay.
Game Boy Advance SP, and just went to town.
No, SP is short for PSP. Everyone knows that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Cutting out one of them syllables. But yeah, but like, how long do you think that took? Just that playthrough?
No more than 2 hours, or no, I mean more than 2 hours.
Yeah,
but no more than 3. I mean, I didn't exactly rush through it, but I also didn't really take my time. I was like, a lot of the stuff that I try to do, like go out of my way to get stuff beforehand. I was like, I'm just gonna go through this game, and still, I was able. They give you more items than you'll ever need in a Metroid game.
Yeah.
And it paradoxically gets easier as you go on, the more health packs you get.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's still a good time. It's fun to traverse around and do things. It is a bit more linear because there are statues that tell you, go here on the map.
Yeah, but it does it a bit more nuanced than Fusion.
Yeah.
Fusion was more specific.
Well, Fusion was like, here's the zone, here's what you have to do in the zone.
Go to this room.
No, but they did that in Zero Mission.
There are alternative entrances in
it didn't
Zero
tell you
Mission
how to get to the room, but it said literally this room is where you need to go. Fusion was more, here's the zone, you need to get to this area.
I remember Zero Mission being less nuanced, but I haven't played them back to back in like a decade. So
okay, well I can do that. I also have Fusion, so I can just do it.
But you're already of the opinion. I have to change my opinion.
Oh, I see. Well, I can do it to just reconfirm my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, I am full of uninformed opinions, so I might as well have at least one informed one.
So you too support Trump? Sorry, uninformed opinion is very. You're into butt stuff?
Fucking no.
You're
no
into
to all of it.
You're into parkour?
I'm into parkour. I am into parkour. It's just so hot.
It's pretty dope.
Parkour's so hot right now.
It's really blowing up.
I kind of remember most of those games are very much like they told you where to go. Almost
Yeah, they were
exactly.
both pretty linear.
Like on a scale of a Metroid, like an original Metroid game to those, yes.
Yeah.
I felt like.
I mean, I feel like you can guide the player a little bit, but they took it both way too far.
Compared to the only other handheld Metroid 2, that thing's like a friggin' open world sim. Like, holy shit, it doesn't tell you jack shit.
I was going to make a joke about how the spider ball being removed was them going, did you guys know it's not fun for people to crawl upside down on a ceiling very slowly for an hour to find out? They could have just walked. Weird.
Whoa.
I do want to do that, though. That was more fun than the main part of
I feel like if they just made the spider ball faster, and maybe you didn't have walking.
Maybe some sort of boost spider ball.
I have heard...
Or maybe they could make the walls into loop-de-loops.
Maybe you didn't even jump.
Maybe if you got rings.
Wait, maybe we should get Crush 40 to do the soundtrack.
Yes.
Can they escape from a city?
Probably.
Okay.
We'll land in the Rebel Space Pirate City.
Yes.
Where we will have to live in the city.
Where she'll meet Dark Samus, like, oh, they're confusing you with me.
And then she'll be like, oh, you're the faker. The Dark Samus is doing it. And you're the faker. You're the faker.
And then her face does this horrible thing.
So then she's Luigi's Mansion?
Yes.
You're really steering off course.
I've heard that there's a group that are making a remake of Metroid 2. And releasing it soon.
Yes.
Like maybe in time for Metroid's 30th birthday, which is this weekend.
That would be nice. Because I keep checking in on that project. I'm like, anytime now.
Yeah. It should be good.
It's doing a zero mission like approach with the graphics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I remembered.
It looks playable?
Yeah.
That's cool. I did... Unlike Metroid 2.
You mean at its current state?
I said unlike Metroid 2, which is something.
I find Metroid 2...
I actually went through Metroid... I one day, bored, took a walkthrough to Metroid 2 because I didn't feel like figuring that out. And I played through it. It was not too bad.
I loved that one. For the longest time, that was my favorite.
Cool.
It would be great if you could see more than 5 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever finished that one.
It's a spooky horror game, as it is now.
It's true.
Yeah. Only one more game I've been playing. Again, in the vein of wanting to play stuff and not having to pay for it. Yeah, not spend money. I went back to an old game. An old game I never finished, but tried to multiple times, which is petered out. Dragon Quest 3 for the Game Boy Color.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going way back for that.
Yeah. I had it forever. And I like it a lot. I just always trailed off. My brother actually got further than I did. So I'm making concerted effort. I made a team of all the single ladies. Mm-hmm. And we're going through. Yeah. Whoa. Mm-hmm. And we're going through. I got to like the second Castle Town. Got good steam going.
Cool.
I feel like they remade that one again for like the DS.
They did.
Okay.
They I don't know if it came over, which is the thing with some of the...
I think it did, because I feel like I've seen that at my job.
So they remade it for the PlayStation 1.
It was originally on the Super Nintendo, but they didn't come over here.
No, it was originally on the NES, then again on the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
I own the original Dragon Warrior, technically, via the proxy of my grandfather, who's a fucking game wizard. Like, what do you mean you can beat these? He's like, what do you mean you can beat these? I beat these, like, before dinner every day, loser. I'm just like... Yeah, no, that... I liked 3's title screen a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a keeper.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man 5's title
It has some nice features to it, actually, that are really good. Like, you can go to an options screen and just select a button that just says full heal. And it will cast as many spells and use as many herbs to just full heal your party.
Oh, that's good.
Automatically, no fuss, nothing.
That's good. This won't surprise anyone. That wasn't there originally.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
Whoa.
I honestly wanted to check out the Super NES remake because it looked radically different.
There's like more color, more backgrounds.
Yeah, it's like 16-bit instead of 8, whereas the Game Boy Color one, of course, is more directly ported.
But it still looks good.
Yeah, it does.
It like even then, like the monsters like fight, they are static images, but when they attack, they have animations.
The RPG guy over at Easy Allies doesn't like Dragon Quest.
Really?
Not even 8.
Weird.
Yeah. They were like, you have to turn in your RPG card, man. He's like, I don't like Toriyama's art. I don't like Dragon Ball. I don't like it. They're like, no, stop.
Please, no, please.
Turn back.
Turn the car around.
I can hear the burning. Can hear the riots in the streets. Did you play anything else?
No, I think that's... Unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think so.
Yeah?
Really minor thing. Again, looking for free-to-play stuff. There's a free-to-play puzzle shooter on Steam called Red Trigger. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's actually really cool. It's really short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And it's got a cool aesthetic. And it's got interesting puzzles where you just have a gun that can just interact with panels and stuff. And you can extend them or retract them. And that's it. But they use them in enough interesting ways that never feels stale. And by the time you're like, all right, I think we're getting done, it's done. It finishes.
Is it a 3D or 2D?
Yeah, 3D.
It's 3D?
It's 3D
so it's
first-person
first
shooter.
person?
First-person shooter.
First person. Okay. Yeah, it was really hard to...
Sorry.
I was like imagining it as some top-down view 2D thing, and I'm like...
No, it's a puzzle first-person shooter.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good. It's solid. It's free. It's just called Red Trigger on Steam.
Well, that's cool. What?
It's Portal 3.
No, it's not. There's no portals.
There's no threes. I'm not sure we mentioned it the other week. Didn't? Yeah, I don't think we mentioned the other week. Those Dead Rising games are coming out on Sony platforms proper.
Well, yeah, didn't they announce that right after we finished? Like, oh, hey, Dead Rising's doing stuff.
Is that how?
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's actually happening, and we're like,
Wasn't it just 1 and not?
I think it's 1 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, or 1 and 2. Yeah, 2 is involved.
Okay.
At very least for PC. Wait, 2 already came out on PC.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it's PlayStation.
Well, 2 was already on PlayStation.
Not 4.
Right.
So it's at least 1 and 2 coming to PS4.
Right. Okay.
Because the version of 2 they're making includes Off the Record.
Oh, that's
So you
neat.
can play as both Frank and don't forget Chuck.
And
That's his full nickname. Don't forget Chuck.
Frank Chuck.
I'm number 1. That character's worth playing that game for, if you ask me. He's just like, man, that guy's insane. Even the model doesn't seem aware he's on fire, right? The game engine doesn't seem to be like, why do you want fire images on this guy? Okay, here we go.
At least Capcom, when they do the ports to PS4 and stuff, they seem pretty solid. Like
Pretty solid, yeah.
The Resident Evil ones are acceptable. They aren't like Ultimate Alliance, Marvel.
Yeah. Which is special.
Yeah. All the Activision ones are that tier, I've heard.
I mean, in a sense, you could say that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 support is kind of like up there with Resident Evil 5 in that it's not a stable performance and it's like between 40-30.
True.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Because Resident Evil 6 port went a lot better from what I hear.
Yeah, it did. It was pretty smooth.
Look at this amazing version of this game no one ever wanted. Okay, now what? Play it. No! What? Jesus! Gross!
I enjoy some of the stupidity that comes in that one just because...
Everything I hear for that one taxes my soul.
Like
Like
you
my
play
brain
as
gets
Wesker's son and you box a tyrant, basically, and it's great.
Isn't there a mechanic where you can use a playground set and you do a sick pose on it?
I do recall something about that,
What?
like some children's playground
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
I don't remember.
Where he's like on the squeaky horse, like, and then, yeah! It does,
God.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that at all.
Resident Evil 6 is quite something. Bob actually suggested we do a playthrough or something, but I feel like it would be dishonest to do that without doing 5 first. So that way we okay, here we go. Refresher course on how stupid 5 is.
Straight off a cliff.
Yeah. I almost got a platinum in 5.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. That still burns. It still burns really hard because there was one trophy and it was like, beat the game on the hardest difficulty. And I'm like, okay. And then I get to that rail car moment where you're just stuck manning the gun in the back of the vehicle. You can't move the vehicle. You can't do anything. So you just have to hit all the spots on it exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after like a year, we finally beat that part. But
And then-
by the end of it, we were like, fuck, man. Also, like, after being stuck at that part for a year, getting to the next level and being introduced back into the normal gameplay at the hardest difficulty is like, ah! This is really hard. Video games are hard.
Yeah. So Dan, what you been playing?
I've been playing Fucked Up Back the video game.
Cool.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. Is that a roguelike?
Fans of GigaBoots will probably remember, especially if they listen to WeeBoots. We recorded an episode of WeeBoots last year, not sure which one, where I'm recording from the kitchen floor. Because my back got fucked up the day before that, and I couldn't sit in a chair to record WeeBoots, so I was just lying on the ground with a shotgun mic pointing at my face. Well, something fucking happened and triggered that again last week.
You could be laying down right now?
No, it sounded like shit, you motherfucker. Yeah, so, like, something triggered that a few days ago, so, like, a lot of my time over the last week has not been doing things that I want to be doing necessarily, and it's gotten better. Like, now I'm normal again. As normal as I get. So I'm good. But what have I played? Jack shit. I've been playing budgeting the game and planning the game for a thing we won't talk about yet.
Secret project.
Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest.
That may or may not involve sharks and balloons?
Have we referenced Shark Balloon on this podcast? I feel like aggro probably.
Probably.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I feel like... Yeah, but no, it was not that. Do not listen to this man. He's a fucking liar.
No, I am... Listen to me. I'm not a liar. It's about shark balloons.
We got some games we need to cover that I have downloaded. So hopefully we'll be putting some quick plays up of that or something.
You know what we did play and we didn't talk about?
What did we play?
Lawbreakers.
I completely forgot. And
which might have killed my PC.
Really? Oh my god.
No.
Well, it probably didn't.
So
but it was the same
breakers.
day.
Motherboard breakers.
Mm-hmm. It infected his PC with its shittiness. Me, Bob, and my brother Steve all sat down and played the Lawbreakers Alpha, which was available for 3 days or something on PC. That game is terrible.
It's pretty bad.
It's really bad.
What is it?
Lawbreakers is a Cliffy B game, wherein it's an Unreal Engine 4 shooter, and it's sort of like old Unreal Tournament, but it is using classes and trying to do a more interesting gameplay like that. So you have like a Titan dude who shoots rockets and can do a pounce smash.
Cool.
And is him flying around and shooting lightning out of his ass.
Okay.
And then you have 3 other classes that aren't viable because the balance is completely fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket Launcher Man kind of wins.
So you're saying Titans are the best class.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Mm-hmm. I think this is a good game.
It's very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to describe what's wrong with that game. The
game
interesting,
modes.
unique thing. Well, let me just do this, and then we'll get to the game modes. There are low gravity zones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you'll leap outside, and it's low G in this one area. So one of the features is you can hit Control to shoot backwards. As 2 classes, Rocket Launcher Dude's one of them. So he'll just flip his rocket launcher around and fire it, and then just fly faster forward. That is the coolest thing in that game. So, Bob, let's talk about the gameplay modes. They have 2 game modes in the alpha, which is now down. They're terrible. One of them is called battery mode. See, you need to capture a battery and bring it to your base. When you bring it to your base, it charges the battery. The battery doesn't lose charge when it's not charging in your base. Mm-hmm. So you can get it to 95%, then the enemy team can take it, charge it the last 5, and win.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I think that speaks for itself.
What?
Yeah, so
it motivates quick turnarounds for...
But then it makes it feel like no one's ever winning.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is the last 5%, 10%. What was the other mode?
It was
okay, so it was like zones, right?
But stupid.
That is an accurate descriptor. Was it 3 or 4 zones?
I think it was 3.
Okay, so there are 3 zones on the map, and they're all locked for, let's say, a minute or 2. And then after a minute or 2, it does a countdown, like 3, 2, 1, and then they all unlock at once, and whoever's there starts charging it up. The moment you capture it, you get a point, and it's shut down. So it doesn't have any of the long-term strategic nuance of a zones match type. It's just, do you have a guy at all 3 of these zones? Do they own it? Do they stand on it for these 7 seconds? Then you got all the points. Now sit here and wait for another 4 minutes for these zones to unlock again.
It's not.
Yeah, it's that design methodology where it just has to be different.
Mentology.
Yes, mentology.
I'm the mentologist.
Mentality.
Next new on CBS.
Where it has to be different.
Yeah, it just has to be different. Anything to make it not the same as the other games.
Yeah, and making your game a piece of shit is even on the table, evidently.
I guess.
Now, the weirdest part about this game to me is that it isn't actually free to play. Because it was going to be. But then back in March, they announced that they were going to sell it because, see, Overwatch can be sold for money. So, of course, their game can be too.
This game currently has 3 characters, basically. But they look different on each side because one side's a lot and the other side's the breakers.
Isn't it 4, though? Because it's running person with blade, rocket launcher person, assault rifle person, and slightly different gun. Because there's the wider spread, faster fire chain gun. And then there's more.
It is 4.
Yeah, they just aren't super different.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of characters.
One of them has a runny type thing, and another one turns. I shit you not. I shit you not. The other one turns into a plane,
which is probably the best part of that game. Let's just be honest.
But then the meter on how long they can do that is like a second.
Yeah, no, it's not nearly long enough to feel like you're Plane Man and enjoy it.
Right. I want to be a centurion from the show Centurions. I want to turn into a plane and be an 80s dad with a mustache. I'm halfway there, you know? I prepared for this day, and the game said, no, you don't get to be 80s dad. You get to be 80s stepdad. You get to turn into a plane for 1 second and then disappoint the kid.
You're here sometimes. You gave the kid a sweater for Christmas.
You get to be 80s disappointing dad. Lawbreakers is terrible.
I feel like every single gun feels super
Bad.
Inaccurate.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Unreal Tournament, as I recall, it felt accurate.
Yeah, no. Like Unreal Tournament is all about getting them headshots stupid fast.
Right, and since it's a PC exclusive, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. It's super weird. None of the 4 classes have a sniper rifle equivalent either.
Yeah, which is also weird for one of those games.
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible. This is a really bad game. So not only is Epic turning out really bad games, but also people who left Epic are turning out really bad games. I'm just saying, well, you know, Paragon's way better than Lawbreakers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I played multiple matches of Paragon and enjoyed them even vaguely.
I don't get enjoyment out of either, but
you get unenjoyment out of one.
Right, like what?
Why am I not a plane? Why would you give that to me and then take it away?
Paragon just blatantly steals another game's whole mechanic set.
Yes.
And that works better as a game because that game figured out how things work.
Yes, it's true. They let the market do it. Like the Blizzard approach, where they let the market figure it out and then they're like, okay, time to make our good, really refined version. Because there were games like Diablo before Diablo. They were just hot fucking garbage.
Were there anything like Diablo?
I don't think you understand. See, in Diablo, when you click, you move to that immediately. In other games, imagine, because Diablo started turn-based. So
Right,
if you can imagine a much
saying.
slower turn-based sort of thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, before Diablo, there was the turn-based horrible thing that they wanted to make.
Yes. I'm just saying, like, that sort of feel for a game was almost there. Because Diablo 1 doesn't feel great.
It does.
For anyone who hasn't.
No, it doesn't.
It feels way better than, say, I'd say the predecessors like Fallout, the original.
Right. Yeah.
Damn.
So, and that's what you're comparing it against. You're comparing it against Fallout, which in XCOM and other things. And like the games that where you did move faster also were bad. But that's beside the point.
I'm gonna take a break.
Okay. Sure, we'll take a break and talk about game news. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Dan.
It's just you and me now.
Yeah, that break was harsh.
Yeah, it was. It's almost like it's an hour and a half later.
Or maybe 3 hours.
Well, wait. Didn't we go and get food at 8:30? And then we recorded the podcast when we got back from food. Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay. A lot of tonight has been waiting.
Right.
But according to Eric, these podcasts aren't much work. Fucker. I know he watches this because he's like, how are they going to transition out of me not being there?
Right.
And then I'll just by quoting him. And then I'm going to be like, Drat! That Daniel motherfucker quoting me again. I'll get him yet.
He immediately turns into the claw when he leaves.
Yeah.
Or is he always that?
He's always that. Dude, he likes Metroid Prime 2.
Oh man, you're right.
Only the claw could like Metroid Prime 2. So, Bob.
What's up?
I couldn't think of any other things I played, which is why this is the new segment now.
Right.
But I still feel weird because I feel like we played Smash.
We did play some Smash.
Smash is good. Can't wait till the NX version comes out. Speaking of which, hey Bob, there were some leaks about the NX.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
everything?
It was like everything. I forgot to grab the tablet before we started recording.
I got my phone over here.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I got my tablet over here now. Oh. Let me just pull that up. I wasn't listening to Knuckles Chaotix music.
You didn't put much here, but okay.
I'm just gonna pull it up so that way I know what the other things are. I know I didn't put up much for that. All right, I was looking at this on the computer because fucking sometimes Google Drive and Google Docs are weird.
Right.
It said, hey Bob, the NX sort of leaked a lot.
Yeah.
It's that hybrid.
Yep.
That everyone knew it was for the longest time, but journalists were like, it's a successor to the Wii.
It's not gonna be a hybrid. That's crazy.
That's crazy. No one's ever, and NVIDIA's like, please notice us. Please. Come on, you guys.
We made like 12 products with the name Shield. Someone has to know that.
Someone has to have at least paid enough attention to be annoyed by this. No? Okay. That's how I would feel if I worked at NVIDIA.
But yeah, it's based on NVIDIA hardware?
Yeah, it's based
crazy.
on the NVIDIA Tegra X1 or maybe X2. Far more likely X2 based on Nintendo's quotes and other information. What?
Sorry, my head just hurt there.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's
karate?
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Probably just brain damage. I don't know. Fucking. You're gonna say something about Tegra X1, X2?
When's the last time NVIDIA ever did a console?
The PS3.
Okay. I was like, I know that it's been that happened.
11 years. Well, technically 10 since release of the product that they were involved with.
Right.
So a hot decade.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And then they let AMD be in every piece of console hardware, so games were getting optimized for AMD hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So their performance delta wasn't good enough for them, I guess, because NVIDIA's better, but not betterer enough for them. I don't know what they need. But in this case, the cool thing here is that NVIDIA came out with several. The Tegra line started as a tablet system on a chip for a high-end tablet, and they would partner up with like Asus and stuff to make it. And it didn't work the 2, maybe 3 times they did that. And so then they were like, okay, well now it's a controller that's a game console, right? That was their other Tegra, and then that didn't work. And then they're like, okay, it's just a game console, but it's got some really good performance considering the price profile.
And it can play 4K.
It can play 4K TV stuff, which was something the consoles didn't even do at that point in time.
Right.
Like the PS4 and Xbox One don't do that.
Yeah.
Because they were designed in 2013. And that didn't take off. And I feel like at some point they finally just cut their losses and went, no one's ever going to buy this.
Right.
But we did all this research, so we need to do something with this. And Nintendo's like interested in talking to various parties about like what can you do in this sort of form factor, and as it turns out that was a good fit.
And makes sense. I mean, they seem to have wanted to go more portable because, the 3DS actually did well.
Yes.
Unlike the Wii U.
Yes. I mean, making one software category that works across both, or software catalog that works across both, is a really good move.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
And also, getting Android out of the fucking way of that really good hardware is also a really good move. Because Android's a real piece of shit. I'm really excited from my perspective because it's kind of like when they talk about it, they're like, it's going to have the controls on the side of it, but you can set it up like a tablet with a stand just like this and just stick it on a thing and then play it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I wanted to hack this thing just so I could run emulators and play it on a PS4 controller on my break at work. So that's kind of tapping into that exact category of device. And that's cool for me because it's like, yeah, man, it has a built-in stand and a controller. Fucking yeah. That's what I want to play. I want to play a good version of Smash, not the one that can fit on a portable with a tiny screen.
Yeah, it'll be crazy that the new Zelda game will be on a portable. Like,
yeah,
that's insane. I just hope they get it to a form factor that's still pocketable. Like I don't want this thing to be bigger than a 3DS XL that's folded.
I feel like it's probably not going to be bigger than a 3DS XL. I mean, for one, it doesn't need to be foldable.
Right. Yeah, we're probably seeing a complete lack of backwards compatibility with either 3DS or
right.
Wii.
Yeah,
anything.
In fact, it only has one screen, so
right.
Definitely not DS.
Yeah.
And then the Wii stuff, it can't because that's wholly different.
Yeah. Yeah. Not like you're gonna be dropping a DVD in this thing.
Yeah, no. Not in the least. Yeah, and it uses cartridges, which was another thing that was rumored for a long time. So Dan from the Rant is Go from years ago, you are vindicated. Where's that actual... Okay, it is pointed exactly at the mic. And just being over here, I'm like, is that just pointed at Bob? Because from this perspective, it kind of looks like it is. And you're just like,
yeah,
hi.
I'm pretty cool.
Welcome to the Bob Show. The Rant is dumb. Man, Dan sure is angry about numbers. He keeps yelling. He's like, these numbers aren't good enough.
Dan.
Staring at these frame rate charts. But yeah, I'm super psyched about the NX.
Yeah.
It's the most exciting Nintendo piece of hardware since...
It sounds like there's not a gimmick to it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Like it being able to be both is the gimmick.
Right. And that's actually a legitimate feature.
Yes. And like as they were talking about, NX isn't just one thing. It's a family of hardware. So what you would likely see is the hybrid's the first thing out of the door, and then the cheap console, and then the cheap portable.
Yeah.
And that's good. Because that console is going to be cheap. And that's going to be great.
It needs to be too, because I mean... The PS4 has a new version coming out this year. Xbox One's got a new version out next year.
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot of competition.
They certainly have a lot of competition. I think no one's doing a good enough job competing at the low price.
No. I mean, well, Xbox One keeps driving itself down there. I mean, it was $250 for a week.
Well, it would help them if they had a catalog worth buying an Xbox One for.
It would. But they seem more determined to have a catalog on PC. So.
And Xbox One. Yeah, you don't hear too many people buying Xbox Ones nowadays.
I mean,
do you?
I still see it frequently, but we're in the South.
Yeah, the very specific region we're in is very X-Bro.
Yeah, it's very much like, oh, well, I've always had an Xbox, so
it's
here we go again.
Oh, you youngin', you've always had an Xbox. Half of my gaming life precedes Xbox. Yeah, let me think about that. The Xbox came out in 2001. I was 18 in 2005. So that's 4 years before I was 18. Yeah. Right? No. I have slightly passed the point where that statement's true. Damn! Because I would like to be able to be like, oh, so much of my gaming history is before Xboxes existed. Now it's like barely over half. Fuck you. Much like some kid who was like, Donkey Kong 64 is a great game. That kills me. No. Donkey Kong 64 is irrefutably the worst rare platformer. The great thing is when I brought up reasons it's terrible, he's like, Let me guess, you just watched the YouTube video where some guy said it was bad. I'm like, no, I lived the real life that is that game is bad. I'm like, you know why I had an expansion pack? And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I had memory leaks. And it would crash without it. Because Donkey Kong 64 is the worst game. Which is a true story. I'm not making that up.
No, I believe it. Yeah. You don't have to tell me. Multiple reasons Donkey Kong 64 is a bad game.
Did you know Donkey Kong 64 tire fire?
No idea. It's so surprising.
I know. It's really surprising. Most people don't realize. What else do we got to talk about here? Nothing. Hey Bob, let's talk about penises.
No.
Touching penises, sucking penises. Eric wanted this thrown in, and he's not here, but I'll read it anyways. And by Eric wanted, he suggested it. Eric doesn't suggest things he wants necessarily. He was just throwing pasta at a wall, as he phrased it. Pokemon Go is pissing off a lot of people.
Yeah.
PokeVision and other Poke Radar websites had their ability to tell you exactly where Pokemon are spawning shut the fuck down.
Right.
So that sucks. And then on top of that, they've removed footprints as far as the latest update. And then on top of that, what was it? There was one other thing. But all these things are pissing people off. And then somebody found out, turns out there's no contact information listed on Pokemon Go, which is a requirement of being listed on the Android store. So they were able to ask for refunds based on the merit of it didn't meet that criteria.
Wow.
And then when people wrote to the Pokemon Go company Niantic, they didn't reply to complaints or customer feedback or anything. So people are aiming them because of that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's amazing how incredibly justified all these people feel in their, like, burn it all down rage over this game. It's like, at no point was this game functional, guys.
Right. It's always been a tire fire. It's just that now
you're reaching mid-game to late game, and you're realizing that it's really bad, and the cheat you were using got removed from the compatibility list, so you're super pissed. And that has very little to actually do with anything that changed.
Right. I mean, the footprints haven't been working forever now.
Yeah.
It is depressing to see they just took it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
like they gave up in short term.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Yes.
There's also the news that Nintendo told all their investors. They're like, we don't own all of Pokemon, you guys. We're only getting some of the money from this. And then their stock plummeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mention that last time because last time happened before that. So that's enough of that. Hey, Eric's not here. Hey, Bob.
What's up?
You got to look straight in the lens when we do this bit. Hey, Bob.
Yes, Dan?
This weekend is the 30th birthday of Metroid. Did you know that?
No.
That marks 27 years since a good Metroid.
Wow.
I can hear future Eric screaming from here.
Were we talking about how Zero Mission was okay earlier?
Yes.
I guess okay isn't good.
I mean, I honestly believe Zero Mission is the best in the series. I also am of the opinion that Metroid Prime 1 is good.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, it's like I haven't played a lot of those in a long time.
Oh, yeah?
And
so do we do a Metroid month without inviting Eric?
Oh, no.
No, we do a Kirby month, and we find some guy who fucking hates Kirby, so that way he can live through what I dealt with for all of Sonic month. These games are dumb and for babies. This is so easy. It's for babies. I'm sure we could find someone,
right,
who'd be able to. If you think you're perfect for Kirby month, leave a comment in the section below. But hey, Bob.
Hey.
Sonic Mania looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Like, really good. 2D Retro Sonic, made by people who know how to actually make a good Retro Sonic.
Yeah, that's something I feel like should have happened a long time ago by now.
Yeah.
That took quite a while.
Yes, it did.
We even had something called Sonic 4, which was horrible.
Sonic 4 was such a cheap fucking cash-in. Like, you know that game. That game doesn't look quality.
No.
No. And then like it only had four worlds.
Like everything was,
because they were going to make it episodic.
And then
it took years for 2. And then 2 was a really different feeling and looking game.
The whole story behind that stuff is crazy. Like, I don't know how all of that happened. Like, how do you set out to make an episodic game like that and then just completely not make it?
Yeah. You do it wrong.
Yeah.
That would do it.
I guess the most successful episodic games these days are like basically all made and then they release it episodically.
Kind of, yeah. Like Resident Evil was that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Life is Strange is like that. Telltale's is kind of like that. They do actually get meaningful metrics back from one part before 2 parts later comes out.
Oh, okay.
So they can use that info to better understand what their audience is doing.
Yeah, and games like that and Life is Strange obviously have a much easier time creating content because they're basically just making a movie.
Yes.
With different choices.
Yes, it's almost like that's the only way to make good episodic games that are truly episodic.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Half-Life really proved the value of the episodic model.
God, I never finished episode 1. Like, it was... By the time that came out and I got to it,
yeah,
that felt terrible.
Yep.
Like, it was just, oh, we're back to doing the things I was doing basically at the beginning of Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
You took away all my guns, I just have the gravity gun again, and I'm doing gravity puzzles.
Yep.
This is bad.
Yes.
I hear episode 2 is better, but oh my god.
And then it ends in that cliffhanger, so it just makes you feel terrible.
Yeah. It's like, I think I got 2 hours into that episode 1 and was just like, this is awful.
Why I remember that.
And it starts at you go through the last level again backwards, basically.
Yes. If I remember correctly, that's kind of how that went.
Yeah, they probably had differences, but very much the same exact architecture types.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was bad.
Any other franchises we could shit on?
We can go back to Metroid. We can just roll it back.
Oh, hey, Eric's not here. I think I'm contractually obligated. Hey, Bob.
What's up?
You know what's way better than Tactics Ogre on the PS1?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
That is correct. And the PSP remake of both of these titles is not equivalent because Tactics Ogre had a whole rehaul and Final Fantasy Tactics added 1 character.
And some CG cutscenes.
So it's like comparing something really old to something really new.
It's true.
Also, you told me they're made by the same fucking guy.
Yes.
Making this whole thing even more fucking insane.
Yeah, I don't know what's...
Because we never actually went over the genesis of this whole weird thing before.
Mm-hmm.
All this happened because everyone praised Tactics and Eric got pissed. He was like, Tactics Ogre is good too. And we're like, we're not saying it isn't. We just say we love Tactics and Tactics is incredible. And then that just became a thing.
Right.
It wasn't like we hunted him down and went, your game is shit.
Yeah, and from like everything I've read from other people it feels like an evolution of it because it is the same guy just a few years later.
I mean, you can look at it
polished off, and yeah, like just seeing screenshots, and I've played a little bit of the remake, and even that, like some of the systems are a little weird.
I played the PS1 Tactics Ogre after I played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah,
it was not as good. So we this is the game, right? We just took it and then we never touched it again.
Today Square Enix sent me a survey, and a lot of people, for Final Fantasy 12 remastered.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Like it didn't label itself as that until you got deeper into it. It was like, oh,
surprise, bitch! We're making you talk about Final Fantasy.
We're going to ask you lots of questions about 12. It's like, it's awful.
Good. We took a stop at Final
Yes.
We want to shit on some Call of Duties. That's a bit mainstream. We got to hunt down these fandoms.
But yeah, I'm still. I find it so weird that HD remaster is happening like next year.
Yeah.
That feels like something that should have been out this year or last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, by the time that's out, Final Fantasy 15 will be out. Do you know how crazy that is? Final Fantasy 15 is releasing this year.
Bob, I'll have you know your PlayStation has been listening to us this whole time and is now trying to log in because it mistook something we said as log in. Now it's playing Skullgirls.
Professional podcasting 101.
I wish I could mark this. Maybe if I hit the record button again, it would mark it.
Maybe.
I'll have to find that out someday.
Not now.
No. She doesn't know what she's doing. The controller that was turned on was over on the couch, Tosh.
Yeah.
Well, now you got that. Just press and hold it. And then turn it off. Nice. Professional.
Nice and professional.
Yep. But Bob,
Yes.
on this this hate train of shitting on all these games, we can't help but stop and say Sonic's way better than people say it is. Because it's not enough to shit on their game. We have to take the most shit on franchise that's still alive and be like, oh, it's good. You're an idiot. You're just playing it wrong. What was it? There was a NeoGaf thread where it was like, I went back and played Sonic 1, and it was really bad.
It's like, yeah,
people
Sonic
are like,
1.
yeah, go play 2 and 3. And he's like, I'm scared. And it's like, well, those aren't good. Now we're pissing off Jason saying, good.
Right. We're
who else
We're getting all our friends. Let's see.
Final Fantasy 9? Do you want to shit on that?
I really like 9, so it's hard.
We can shit on World of Warcraft.
There we go.
Man, World of Warcraft's stupid.
God.
What a dumb fucking game.
You're all Illidan now? What's up with that?
That is super stupid. And Pandarans.
Pandarans, man.
And fucking that game as a whole is stupid for junkies. They should all play Mega Man. No biases here.
You mean, you're getting them.
Yeah.
Showing them who's boss there.
Yeah. And Mega Man 7 sucks too.
Okay, I feel like
there were people who have been like, you just don't like 7 because you didn't play it when you were young. Because I guess they hit enough people that were like that, where they just assumed everyone was like that. I'm like, no, I rented it all the time when I was young. I didn't buy it because it wasn't good. I rented it like 2, maybe 3 times ever, and I was like, that's enough. That's not a good game.
it's almost certainly better than X3. Because I remember enjoying parts of 7. Has bass.
That's rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
I don't remember the difficulty being so bananas.
And the levels are fun
Yeah.
in their design. Shit. You may be right. Mega Man 7 is probably better than X3. You know, the only way we can know is if one of us buys a copy of it, Mega Man 7. And then we play it.
How much is that now? I bet it's
Probably cheaper than X2 and X3.
probably, or we can import it too, and it'll be the same price.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Maybe. Whoa.
What? Oh my god! Did we run out of space, or what's up?
Nope. It's the same problem it always is. But yeah, Mega Man 7, shit. Mega Man 8, better than Mega Man 7.
Okay.
Mega Man 5 and 6, underrated. You people are stupid. All of your opinions are wrong. Me, on the other hand, my opinions are great.
I want to cycle back to Final Fantasy 12 and that weird survey again.
Yeah.
Just
You want to talk about news?
that survey.
Uh-huh.
It asks you to rate different parts of the game, and that makes sense to me. But it says first one way it wants to rate is your favorite parts, and you have 1 through 6 to rate them, and then your least favorite, and 1 through 6 to rate them.
And then there's the same.
There's
parts
same
listed.
things. So it's like you want me to just literally enter this one way and then enter this backwards?
Yeah,
So I
because
did.
They're making sure you
Are paying
on
attention.
point. Yeah, that you actually feel this way, and it's not random selection.
It's still just like, this is weird. Why did you do this?
It's kind of like in an interview, like when you're doing those application questions, and 2 of them are the exact same thing,
Right.
just to see if you're still aware 10 minutes later. What would you do to Susan? You mean after yelling at her because she's a dumb bitch? Man, we shouldn't have allowed write-ins. Hey, Bob.
Hey, I feel like there's more to talk about with the NX. Maybe. Let's see. I know that some people interpreted the controllers coming off not as being like two pieces that make one control pad that you're holding, but it is like a controller for two different people. So then you could do 2-player.
That's bizarre.
Yeah,
because it wasn't that.
Okay.
I mean, technically, you could do that. You would just have a stick and 4 buttons, except for one player who has a D-pad instead of 4 buttons. And that's why the technically is there.
Right.
Because you can't play Mega Man X on a 4-button controller. That's a D-pad because you can't charge your shot and dash.
It needs some way to, It needs some way to accommodate more controllers too. So I have to wonder.
Bluetooth?
Yeah, Bluetooth, or if it's going to have something insane like, hey, here's a GameCube port.
I mean, we talked about how that would be the best thing ever.
Right.
If the portable fucking ships with a GameCube port on it, that's the best.
Right.
Then we would be living in the glorious future that made the past 2 consoles being terrible worth it.
Yeah. Man.
A portable GameCube. What's up?
What? The GameCube is already portable. It's got a handle.
It does have a handle, that much is true. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about here other than I can go into the Tegra X1 is a fairly competent piece of hardware. It would outperform all of last-gen consoles. Mm-hmm. Pretty handily, actually, including the Wii U. And then, so, if Zelda was ported to that, it would already run better if it was the Tegra X1.
That's crazy.
But then it's probably likely that it's the Tegra X2, based on what Nintendo said in the launch date. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be remarkably more powerful because it's based on Pascal, which is in Pastel, which is NVIDIA's newer architecture that powers all their fucking OP as hell video cards that just came out.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
like a lot of people about that,
it could be approaching Xbox One performance.
And that'd be pretty crazy to have a portable.
The first time ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time we ever got that was the NES and Game Boy, and the Game Boy technically in some ways was not as capable as the NES. It didn't have color, but a lot of the other parts of it were very NES-like. So that's kind of nuts.
Okay, we know that we're getting at launch
Splatoon.
Zelda.
Oh, Zelda, yeah.
That's the only thing that they've for sure confirmed. Just Dance is on there, which is super weird. I was thinking about that earlier of like, wait, that Just Dance came on a portable? But whatever.
Well, it's technically not just a portable. Yeah. It's both.
So yeah, it's neat.
I mean, the leaks are that Splatoon, Super Mario Maker, and Smash Bros. Are all getting ported, which is brilliant because those were games that everyone wanted to play, but no one wanted their damn console.
Yeah. Yeah, those games were really good. They aren't really worth the system, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, Smash Bros. Was for us because we played it so much.
We play hundreds of hours of Smash Bros. And don't understand why other people don't. What's a good price for you? If they come out with this thing that is Xbox One capable,
right,
and it's a portable, and they say $300,
I'd say that'd be a really good price.
Okay, that's me.
Like
that's where I am.
Like that was like I was a little worried that I'm still a little worried that it goes 350 or 400. Like I don't think Nintendo can do that because they don't have that known third party support. Like they can't rely on that. It's all their stuff.
So you're saying 350 would be too much?
Yeah, at least 400 would be too much. 350 is pushing it, and 300 would be great.
Yeah, I feel like 300 and lower is great. I mean, the cool thing here is relative to consoles, it saves money because those things have to come with 512 gigabyte hard drives or 500 gigabyte hard drives.
Oh, right. Now we're on cartridges, so we really don't need something that big. We don't
need it. And since it's an SD card slot, you could bring your own storage, which I would love to.
Yeah, and Nintendo is very known for, hey, SD card slot.
Yes.
We don't need some special thing.
Yeah, because they don't have any of their don't have their fingers in or hands in any jars when it comes to flash storage. Unlike Sony, who fucked it up.
Yeah.
If anything, this whole thing will make Sony look incredibly bad because it'll just show, hey, if you had the catalog, the Vita would have worked. If you didn't fuck the storage, the Vita would have worked.
If you let the Vita hook up to televisions like you did with the PSP,
The
that
Vita
would
would
help.
work. Yeah. So many layers.
So many mistakes made with the Vita.
It's so crazy. It's just like, damn, how did they... What? Yeah. So as a person who loves portables and loves powerful hardware and loves these games that they're porting, because Splatoon's great.
Yeah.
It would be dope as hell to do a multiplayer Splatoon match with portables.
Right, and that'd be the perfect way to do it, of actually everyone having their own screen and
Yeah.
just, yeah. And that's totally something you can...
Or even have hardware capable of running it in split screen in the least.
Right, because, man, split screen
And
mode on that.
having a console with some sort of sign-in system, so that way your friends can sign in. Which it sounds like this will also do because of the DNA. Or
Dana.
Yeah, DNA. Dana. The Nut Shack. Oh,
No!
fucking Silva Gunner. Ruining everything. Yeah, I'm super excited. I haven't been this excited for hardware since Resogun was announced for the PS4. Then again, Killzone was really impressive. Okay, Killzone Shadowfall.
You know something we forgot to put on this list?
What?
The new version of Darksiders 1.
No, it's
on here?
Right there in the bottom.
Oh, man.
For Wii U, PS4, and Xbox One. Yeah. One of these things is not like the other.
Right.
One of these things no one will own when this comes out.
It's called Darksiders War Mastered Edition.
Like Remaster.
Yeah.
But War Mastered.
Because it had to be the stupidest.
It's Darksiders, so yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who will be glad.
Yeah, I hear this one's actually doing 60 frames per second on PS4 and Xbox One.
And since PlayStation 4 Neo will most likely be out by the time this comes out, it could be better on that even.
It could. Unfortunately, I don't think they said anything about readjusting the gameplay and that sort of thing.
Oh, it's flawless.
Darksiders 2 improved it in like every way, so I don't think that they can even pretend that.
No, it was flawless. It was flawless, Bob.
Yep.
It was
hitting everyone about 3 times and doing that kill attack. That's so flawless. It wasn't repetitive at all.
Nope. God, I fucking that game could have been so good.
Right. I think that it had the had one of the Mad Max villain voices is a guy who was all following you around.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the original Mad Max?
I'm not
Toe
sure.
Cutter?
I'm not sure it was Toe Cutter or the dude from Road Warrior. It was one of those two.
What the dude from Road Warrior's deal was? What was his deal?
We go in, we kill.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Oh man, that one was full of so much S&M weird bullshit.
Yeah, it was.
That was great. Man, I apparently really love the Mad Max movies, as it turns out. Maybe not the films that they exist as, so much as the fact they exist. Because the original Mad Max is a fucking mess that goes on forever.
It is, but oh man, it is so weird and interesting.
And like that's the thing I would like to aspire to with films. Like with films such as Escape from Gas Station. You know, that doesn't read in text, but once you hear a trailer go, Escape from Gas Station, because you need to hear it said in this way that sounds completely wrong and alien, like a person who's never heard of a gas station.
Not the gas station, gas station.
Yes, that's...
It's like one of those Resident Evil 2 style labs.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the idea, actually.
Okay.
I don't want to talk too much about it in case someday some idiot gives us enough money to make that shit fucking horror film. Which, you know, if there's one movie I would draw comparisons to the most, it would be the first Resident Evil movie. We need to watch those again.
Yeah.
We need to
at
see
least
if there's
2.
a cheap way to... I think all of them. The decline is beautiful.
I'm sure it is massive.
It just keeps... It's like crash landing a plane, but then it doesn't stop at the land. It cuts into the fucking crater.
We tried to watch, I think it was 4, Extinction, and we got it like 10 minutes in, and like, this is so dumb.
Yeah, no. I think that was just the third one.
Really?
Yeah, the Extinction, I think that's the third. The fourth one is when Wesker actually gets involved.
Oh my god.
Isn't there a fifth one, too?
I think there's up to 6 or something.
I don't... I don't remember 6, but I remember like there being one more past Wesker or something.
There was definitely one past that, but I'm not sure if there was another one. I think they're working on another one, if not.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to marathon all of those on Blu-ray.
Let's just stare at these horrible things.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I own Planet of the Apes.
I wonder if we can get some riff tracks for that.
I feel like there's a riff track.
There's got to be one for the first one.
There's got to be. We haven't talked about how I'm going to get $30 from NVIDIA. Because I bought a GTX 970, and they said this has 4 gigs of RAM, and it actually had 3.5.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant there.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit's the word for that. And there actually are games that need 4 gigs of space that don't run on it.
Of course.
For example, Oculus Trip.
I knew it.
The definitive graphics benchmark of last generation games. Damn, that came out on PS4. Last generation games. We didn't talk about Sonic Project 2 2017.
No, we didn't.
Okay. We also haven't talked about Pokemon yet.
Oh, yeah.
The Pokemon trailer had a lot in it.
It did, Jesus.
That game continues to look cooler and cooler every time they show it off.
They just left a pile of junk on there, yeah.
Yeah, so there were new Pokemon that were shown off. For example, Oricorio, which is the bird that has 4 different forms based on what nectar it eats. And those forms are all different dual types. So it's flying psychic, flying electric, flying ice, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah. And flying fire. Yeah, no, that's a cool Pokemon. I like the idea of a Pokemon that like can change forms based on what nectar or flower it eats from. Because like we've had things that change form like Rotom, and that's the next closest analog. But that's one Pokemon that changes into a select set based on these things in this one house, right? It's not this idea of like, oh, there are different flowers on these different islands, so you gotta, yeah. Whereas like for Rotom, it's like walk to the living room and touch the TV. Oh, it's a TV.
I didn't think about that. Wait, your Pokedex is Rotom. Are you gonna catch Rotoms in this area? I assume you will, but that's still gonna be a little weird just because you already have one.
Well, what?
The Pokedex is a Rotom in this game.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah, that was actually a few trailers ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been kind of cutting myself off from it because I know I'm going to love it.
Right. The Aloha forms are weird.
You know what's weird for me?
Yeah.
X and Y is the only fucking Pokemon game I've ever come in watching trailers for because they didn't have trailers back when Ruby and Sapphire, were coming out. Or at least we didn't watch them.
Yeah.
It's the only one I've watched trailers for out ever and just gone, oh no, this isn't going to go well. And then it didn't. Best feature in X and Y. There's a shitload of Pokemon in the game. There's like 500 different Pokemon.
X and Y?
Yeah. Yeah. Not new Pokemon. I'm not saying the word new. I'm just saying literally there are like 500 goddamn Pokemon on that island.
That is pretty crazy.
It's fucking nuts. It's like, yeah, this thing's enormous. Turns out we forgot to make a good game in here, but hey, this is a big warehouse. Go and get them. Go into that cave over there. It's one of the 2 in the whole game. It's completely different Pokemon from this cave. And then there are 2 versions too? Fuck. There's so many Pokemon. I'd much rather have a good game though.
Right.
But hey, whatever. Oh wait, hey, this is another franchise we can show. Just kidding. But what else do we have this time? New Pokemon Mudbray is that horse?
Yeah, the pre-evolution of the horse.
Yeah, it's got like, well, it's still a horse, but it's the first evolution.
True.
But yeah, it's got like weirdly wide eyes. Like the pupil for the eye is wide, but the eye's vertically oriented. It's real creepy. But apparently the deal with that thing is like it gets mud caked up on its hooves and stuff. And so the evolution has super caked hooves with mud making like a plated armor. And one of the
it looks like bunched up socks.
One of the descriptions, the description read for it is like, if it kicks a car, it will just absolutely pulverize it. because of how strong those things are. In fact, they don't let that horse run on roads because it'll decimate the road.
I mean, when they announced it, it was 600 pounds or something.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, this is like the heaviest Pokemon there is, isn't there?
Whaler. One of my favorites, let's get Gumshoes out of the way. So yeah, Trumpamon became even more Trump.
Yeah, that thing is weirdly, blatantly that.
It's uncomfortable.
Right?
But hey, Fumantis, the Mantis Pokemon they showed off, looks pretty neat. But they didn't show off much about it. They were just like, here's it in its evolution.
Yeah, I thought I would like that more because I like Pragmantis looking stuff, but that something about it, the design really didn't click with me.
Yeah. Is it the pastel colors?
I don't think it's that. I think it's the way that the legs and arms look really wavy.
They do.
Yeah.
You know what I love though? My favorite new Pokemon, Minior. Because it's like a meteorite, moon-like thing that has a hard shell and tiny little things sticking out of it, like little nubs. Mm-hmm. And then if it gets enough damage, it cracks the shell. And then it has a soft underbody that's a different color based on what it absorbed.
That one was weird.
It's really cool. Because for the first 50% of its health bar, it has enhanced defense, apparently. And then that shell cracks. That's like, oh, man.
That is a neat mechanic.
That's awesome.
But let's talk about those Aloha forms.
Okay, let's talk about those Alola forms.
Sorry.
Completely different. This isn't Hawaii. Don't even...
What?
But yeah, so there are Alola forms of old Pokemon. This doesn't feel as Gen 1 pandering as X and Y. Like, something about these ideas are cool enough where it doesn't seem desperate.
They're definitely, like, really different takes on them.
Yeah.
So, that's neat.
Yeah. So, like, Execute.
We're just jumping right to that?
Yeah.
To that thing that's already become a giant meme and everyone posting pictures.
What was it? Somebody did a calendar of memes. Whereas, like, you know, each month what meme was popular. And then since we just hit August as this trailer comes out, in the second row, it's like August, and its head erupts out of the top of the box for the month into the other months.
I've already retweeted like 12 pictures of that thing. That thing is amazing, even though it's the dumbest thing ever.
And it's a dragon type.
Apparently, in some super old like description for Execute, it says, "Oh yeah, when it's in its tropical natural environment, it's much taller."
Yes, yes, that's true. I remember reading that. Isn't that great?
Yes.
They fucking delivered on that.
It's like much
fuckers.
Taller.
Incredibly taller than God. I do like that they animated it so it had that move where it slams its head down on the enemy. That was good.
It was.
The moves in this look really great.
Yeah, a lot of the presentation just looks way better. Like,
than
it looks
ever.
Like, it looks like they're actually ready for 3D at all.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if they're going to port this to the NX.
They gotta.
Right? Like, or if they're just gonna wait for the next version, because they could totally do like a version 2 where. What?
I mean, they could do that. If it
Moon
takes
Sun, Super Sun, I don't know.
If it takes SD card size slots, like if it just does that, which might be a bad idea just because of people shoving 3DS cards in it or trying.
Right.
Then you know it could be one of those. Oh no, that's a little complicated from the perspective of. I can't remember what the CPU in the 3DS is, but I think it's a MIPS, so it wouldn't be compatible. In any case, I don't know. There could be a version that's just going to be on both, like some third version for Sun and Moon.
Right.
It's going to be called Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Right.
And it'll be like the best one.
That's what I was saying.
Nothing but heartfishes.
No.
Your dad,
not like this.
Your dad is Heartfish. Your mom is Heartfish. The final gym leader is Heartfish.
But yeah, also gyms no longer work the way they used to. Apparently.
Yeah, they don't call them gyms.
They don't.
They call them trials. And at the end of the trials, hosted by the Kahunas, definitely not Kawaii. In any case, you have to fight what was the term? Totem Pokemon. Which is like this beefy Pokemon that's going to have an aura over it, buffing a stat of its, and then a smaller Pokemon come out and fight for it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I want to see
like
how
change.
that goes. Right?
Like, them changing things is better than where X and Y ended up.
Definitely. Like, just redoing that same thing again and again can get old.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not horribly against gyms, but it's definitely more interesting to make it an area that you're making your way through than a box full of assholes who fight you.
Yeah. I mean, if it's actually an area like that, then you could even still be catching Pokemon in there.
Exactly.
It's something you could do.
Yeah. And since Hawaii is such a nature traily place in the minds of people who don't live there, the idea of like, oh, you need to make your way up this mountain in order to fight this totem Pokemon and blah, blah, blah is like really awesome. It's just going to feel weird, though, if you don't get gym badges.
Yeah, they have to have something.
Empty.
Something.
It's going to feel wrong.
But they'll
If you
probably give
finish
you
the
like
game and you don't have 8 of something, it's going to feel terrible.
I've read something that was saying the whole point of this game is to basically turn this region into a region with gyms, so you are founding them or something to that effect. But
so in that case, this might be early in the timeline.
Right.
Which would be cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Then you became Giovanni. Bad end, huh?
I was a girl. Doesn't matter.
The future's progressive. No, that future was like the 90s. It's not that progressive yet.
It was actually pretty bad.
No, it wasn't, you fucking liar. Z moves are really cool.
What was it? One per type?
Yeah, one per type, and it's this really cool thing where you do a crazy stance, like Steel Panther Strike.
Right.
And then your fucking Pokemon does it.
I saw they announced those weird stances you could do like before this. I was like, is that just what you do before you do a Mega Evolution? That's lame. But now that it's a move, it's cooler.
Yeah, that's way cooler. And having one of those per type is even cooler than that. Like that idea of like each type gets their own. It's not because Mega Evolutions are shitty because it's only some of the Pokemon. It's not the ones you love. Like
right.
the numbers don't work out.
No.
It's the one I love. I love Charizard. Charizard my favorite.
He's not a dragon. So he can't be.
He can't be your favorite because he's not a dragon. That's how that works.
Where's my Mega Evolution of Axew? Doesn't even
game
evolve.
Stops booting. This game's so broken it won't even fucking boot anymore. You know I love Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they gave it Mega Evolutions. Those look fucking awful.
Yeah, because it became Mew3.
It did.
And they gave it 2 separate ones, which made it even worse, I think.
Because they went in 2 very different directions.
Yeah.
One of which was really I'm a shitty DBZ villain's 5th form sort of look. Jay from Halcyon brought up a good point that why didn't Cell use Kaioken when he
I don't care.
Myth busted. Who gives a shit?
How are you supposed to respond to DBZ lore questions?
20 fucking minutes of a Mythbusters episode leading up to who gives a shit, and then they don't even pull out the exercise.
It'd be pretty good.
So good. That's how they should have dealt with the credit card companies asking them to not show the insecurity of the lack of security with the chips in credit cards. Because you heard about that, right?
No.
Oh, yeah, they were going to do an episode and like, oh, the chips aren't good. Like, they don't work at all. And this was before the government mandated it, right? So if you think about it, if they had done that episode and proved how shitty it was, then the government probably wouldn't have mandated it.
Yeah.
But in any case, the credit card company is like, guys, don't do this. You're going to cause huge amounts of hacking. Please don't. That would be really bad. And they're like, okay.
That's sad.
I'm like, no, fuck that. We're in the situation we're in now because they didn't do that episode. By the way, people are still getting their cards compromised, even with the fucking chip, even when they only use it with the fucking chip.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I run into people who say that frequently.
Me too.
Which is
how you know
crazy.
We work retail,
right?
But yeah, no, you could have a messenger bag sized device that's just ripping NFC signals from every chip near you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's fucking a wireless transmission.
Yep.
And then they designed the new readers so that way you have to insert it so it like doesn't have to power it as much. Because allegedly it was reading from the person who wasn't even at the counter because it was too strong of a signal. And it's like, oh, good. We don't have a problem at the point of legitimate transactions. That's not the issue. But whatever. None of that's the point. The point is the new Pokemon looks great. Which one are you getting, Bob?
I'm getting Moon.
You're getting Moon?
Yeah.
Which one am I getting, Tosh?
Moon.
Okay, I'm getting Moon.
Okay.
That
bat looks cool.
So James Gilmore, aka Jim Ratgazer, better get Sun. We need to convince him to get Sun. Because that guy's good.
He's good for the...
He's great for the Pokemon.
Man,
It's been years since I brought it up on the podcast, but me and that motherfucker had played a lot of Pokemon, and we both got each other Pokemon. Like, it was I need this, so he would go and do that, and then I would run and get him a thing.
I hope that Vulpix is in my version, because I like that new Ice Vulpix.
Cool. If you just got Vulpix in one of the 3DS games, you could trade it over.
That's true.
And that
I'm sure that you said that X and Y had like a 500 or something. It's probably in there somewhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna try a quick Google just because I think it will be funny, and knowing how these things work, it could be really, really funny.
I also saw some leaked pictures of the final evolutions of the starters. Yeah. So I hope those are true because those are all pretty good, except for the one that was, of course, bad.
Which one's the one that's bad?
Well, I mean, it's the water one.
Popplio?
Everyone knows.
Everybody loves Popplio. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't go a day without hearing people go, Popplio's the best, isn't he? And I'm like, he is, because he's a dumb fucking
But yeah, apparently there's more credence to the images leaked back in May, I think, and now they have more credence to them because this latest trailer had a character that was previously unseen and showed up in that.
And leaked in that, yeah. Let's see. Over 500. Some people are saying 596 without trading with another game. That's the best part of that game. The post game for me was running around and catching Pokemon per route, and that was fun. That was way more fun than playing through it. I do not know why you're doing that side quest stuff. I could not tolerate it. Is it going to give you something cool?
I don't know. I didn't look up what it gave me. You really
should have, man. Because Pokemon is a game. This is a game where a man tells you to catch every type of creature in the world. You do it, he goes, thanks, champ.
I just, for some reason, feel like this looker guy's going to do something that's important.
He's going to pull down his shades and give you a look. That's what he's going to do. But, yeah, so I'm super fucking psyched for that.
Yeah.
That's all the news. We saved, like, the biggest thing to talk about for last.
I wonder how many... I mean, we talked about a good bit of the NX stuff, so that and Pokemon was pretty big.
And then we shit on a bunch of
right? We just
saying Sonic's better than...
We just wandered around doing that for a while.
Most of because Sonic's good.
I hope that there's a lot of new Pokemon that we haven't seen yet and won't be announced, because that's something that was absolutely great about Black and White. Like, you didn't see old Pokemon.
Yes, that was great about Black and White.
And now we have Aloha form, so if they're returning,
then
they'll be different.
Yeah. I mean, I want a lot of new Pokemon. I always do. But I'm pleased with how much different the game is and how better the game looks than the past couple. I'm pleased enough where even if they didn't have 150 new ones, I would still be happy.
It's true. There's enough else different there to make up
and
for
higher
it.
quality.
Yeah.
Like, as you were saying, those animations and text and all that stuff look for once like they're ready. Like, oh man, guys, did you know this is like a
and
3D
walking
game?
Around the world actually looks like appropriate.
Yeah, not weird and jank.
Yeah.
I'm worried how much worse this game will look on a normal 3DS than a new 3DS.
Yeah, I hope it does see gains for being on a new 3DS.
That would be nice. At the same time, I would like it to not be a total piece of shit on a regular 3DS.
Right.
That would be nice.
Maybe if it could just, I don't know, run well on the new 3DS. That'd be something.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be something. That would be good. A Pokemon game that's 3D and runs well.
Probably have to wish we an X for that.
I don't know. Gale of Darkness, Pokemon XD might run well. That's the only 3D one I think ever has run well. Because all the stadiums were shit frames per second. And then the fucking Coliseum one for the Wii, which was the last console Pokemon that was at all even resembling a normal Pokemon game.
Right.
That was the last one they made, and that was shit.
It was
terrible.
It was absolutely awful. I can't even believe how bad that turned out.
And that's why we don't get them anymore.
Yeah.
But hey, with,
at least Pokemon Tournament was way better than that.
Yeah. That's not hard.
I wonder if FanX is going to see a new version of that, because they're already making new characters for that game on the arcade.
Oh, Pokken.
Yeah, Pokken.
Probably. I mean, why not?
Right?
Right?
It feels like the natural thing to do.
Yeah. Make this thing you already made for your new thing, because you can. That seems to be what most of games have been for the last 8 years.
And yet we still don't have Dissidia on the home console.
Fuck, man. What is the deal with that?
I don't know. They must just... I mean, the characters are still slowly coming out on arcade, so maybe they're just...
Really?
Yeah, they're still releasing
Are they putting bad guys in now?
Yeah, they're getting some villains in.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Man, early access in Japan is an arcade game.
It is. That's why Street Fighter V isn't done.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's also shit.
It is.
I'm really glad Dissidia isn't coming out and being that.
Right.
Because I want it to come out and be polished and look great.
Yeah. And have all the modes you expect and be...
I don't even know if that's gonna happen. I would like it to. Dissidia had a terrible story, but I liked playing through Duodecim.
Right, like that was the main way to play that game. Like actually there was a lot of stuff to go through, and it was all about just building up your character by doing it.
Yeah. Whereas like, I don't know, I didn't like Dissidia 1 story. That board game thing.
Yeah, the board game was hard to get used to. It was not good.
It wasn't visually appealing.
That
like
too.
Dissidia Duodecim's like, you're traveling a world map. And that was enough for me. And I'm like, whee!
See? That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's why Setsuno is okay. Okay, it wasn't.
It really wasn't.
Yeah. I still haven't gone back to it since that
That's how you know.
live stream.
That's how you know.
I didn't talk about it on this week's podcast even.
That's because there was nothing to...
Yeah.
Because it's not good. It's bad. I still haven't gone back and listened to that old podcast. Or I haven't found a podcast yet where we're talking about Mighty Number 9.
Oh yeah? You're still looking for it?
Yeah. There's gotta be one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is.
It's us. We're giant Mega Man fans. At least we were when we had a soul. Now we're just giant Sonic fans.
Don't put me in here with you. I'm not going down that road.
I do know.
I'm a Devil May Cry fan, and they're gonna make a new game.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it. Don't where you going, Dan. Come back here and believe with me.
No. I have better things to do. Like draw Sonic on seas.
This video was brought to you by the incredible generosity of our executive producer, Vincent Poverk. Go to patreon.com and become a Vincent Poverk today.